I was born in Eastbourne 94 years ago in Ashford Road. My mother was born in the same house as I was. My grandmother lived there, and my great-grandmother lived. My grandmother was born there, but my great-grandmother lived there, and she come from Madras in India, and she used to sit outside and smoke a clay pipe. Also, my mother was there 85 years. She died when she was 85. My sister died 2 years ago. She was 88. She lived in the same house all her life. And now my brother kept the house for my sister, but she couldn't maintain it, so he gave it to his son, and his son rents it out to my niece, so the house is still with our family. We must be the oldest Eastbourne family living there. Well, my earliest memories of Eastbourne was we used to go to All Souls Church and Sunday school, and I was christened there, and my mother was christened there, and we had lovely Christmas parties, and we were very happy times they were, because we were very poor as children. We didn't have anything, because I was born in 1920, and I went to school in Bourne Street, in East Street, I think it's called then, and I went to the infants, juniors and senior school, and left when I was 14. So that was, quite a long time, really. And then I left school at 14 and went to work in domestic service for till I was about 30, I think, 24, 30. Well, I was in Eastbourne all during the war, and I was up Meads looking after a couple that was sick. I couldn't be called up because I was retained, because they couldn't get nurses during the war. And the Canadians used to practice in Bourne Street, which was Hellfire Corner, and in the empty, in the bombed houses. And I was machine gunned up Meads 3 times for a German bomber, and I saw him in the plane. It was so low. And where I worked, I was a warden. I was 19 then, and we had I saw the first doodlebug come over. It crashed up the road next to the Meads Junior School, which is still there, up Edensaw Road. And we had oil bombs, butterfly bombs. They used to set the trees alight. And I was out as a warden, reporting things. So, and then where I worked, I had to do all the cooking, cleaning, everything, and looking at a nurse, single-handed, for 5 years. So, I was there 8 years, really, but that was before the war. And then I did 6 years of the war, and then I got married at 24. I was up Meads, and of course I saw Elliott stores bombed, all the furniture hanging out, quite a high building, where is the Co-op now, it is still in Mead Street. And I saw the church all alight. I think it was St John's Church. And Marks and Spencer's, I saw that afterwards. And where else? Oh, and the library. I came down on the bus before it was bombed. It was the Technical Institute then. It's a big school, quite a big like it is now, a big area. And St Anne's Church was bombed over St Anne's Road. And, I saw most of the bombing in Eastbourne, really, because I was here all during the war. So it wasn't, and we had bombing all the time, and I used to go to the Winter Gardens dancing, and to Gordon Ryder's band, and I used to walk home from the Winter Gardens right up to Upper Duke's Drive, because this was Edensaw Road I worked, with my gas mask and my torch. Not very pleasant, but got there in the end. My earliest memories is of a man called Daddy King. He was very old. I was only about 10, and he used to sit in a cubby place in between the Cameron store and the bank, and he used to give children little toys. He sold matches, and he also gave out ginger nuts, which I didn't like very much, and he gave us a party at the Winter Gardens at Christmas time, and all the poor children of Eastbourne went in a chowabang, and we had a lovely time, and we used to sing show me the way to go home, I'm tired and I want to go to bed. But we had a lovely time, but I really don't know what happened to him. We never hear anything about him. So. After the war, I used to go to the Sunday Ballroom Club on the pier where the Blue Room is now, and we joined. We had to pay to go for once a year, and that was very nice. And I also used to go dancing at the Fisherman's Club, and we had all different bands all the time. And the Saints used to play there. They were a local band at the time. I remember the old pier, and used to remember the bath chairs all outside where they used to wheel the old people in the bath chairs, and it hasn't altered much. And they had all the beach huts along there, and they used to have showers, and you could go down on the carpet down to the sea, and us children used to go, and we got told off. We had to run away when we got caught. And they also used to have a little man, he used to be an uncle of mine, called the Shoe Shine Boy, and they used to polish people's shoes as they went by. And I remember that very well, because we lived on the beach, because I only lived 10 minutes away, and we was there all day long. It was beautiful. The weather was wonderful, always, but we had very cold winters then. Only one coal fire. Your black used to freeze. So. I used to go to the Hippodrome when I was about 14, and they did plays them days. We didn't have variety shows, but we were right up in the gods, and it only cost sixpence. And also I used to go to the Luxor Cinema, and we had a variety show, Billy Cotton and his band, and Reginald Dixon on the organ came up out the floor when that was first came into play. And we had a film and a variety show, and the Reginald Dixon gave a concert. And then when we came out, we used to have a tuppenny and one fish and chips on the way home. So that was very, very interesting. I remember when I was 14, we used to see the Sayers Alcorn boats go out, and they used to take people out on trips to Beachy Head, and the speedboats used to go out as well. And remember the lifeboat, the old lifeboat, and then the new ones come in. And then along the seafront, the soldiers was in all the hotels along there, and the beach was got barbed wire all along. You couldn't go near the beach, and we had the big guns on the seafront. They were terrible. Used to knock all the windows out. So that's going back a little way. I did go in Baltruth Lighthouse when they had an open day, and we paid £10 for a brick for it to be moved. That was only one off, and this couple and a child they had a little child, about 2, and they bought it, they owned it, and then I took photographs, went all over it, and the lady said, you can take photographs if you like. And so I took all these photographs and took a lovely sunset right at the top of the... and then I hadn't got a film in. Oh, that was a one-off, you know, because I'm always taking photographs. And then my husband's mother used to work in Baltoot. She was a cook. And the King and Queen came, King George, Queen Mary and King George came there. And I don't know where they stayed, but she cooked them a meal. I don't know how she got there, I'm sure, horse and cart, I think. Yeah, so... I remember as a child going with my father round to the Salvation Army Citadel, and we used to walk to the pier with the band, and they did a service, and then they came back to the Citadel, but we didn't go in because we weren't Salvationists. And then we went to... they used to go, the band, about 8 of them, used to go round Dursley Road by a lamppost and do a service, and all the children came out the houses. And I thought that was very nice at the time, to bring the religion out to the people. My husband's name was Jack Smith, and he was in Malta all through the siege. And then he went on to Cairo, and then he went to, when we got married in 1945, and then he went on to Germany for a year. He had to take an officer, British officer, around. He went all through the Autobahn, and then he took him down Hitler's bunker, which was all charred and burned. He did a year there, and he said to the British officer, I think we want to get out of here, because all the Russians were standing around with guns, and he couldn't speak. They were talking in Russian, and he couldn't speak the language, so he was really frightened, so they came out. And that was, he did 6.5 years of the war. And if it hadn't have been for the convoy getting through, the last convoy getting through to Malta, they would have all starved. And we went and got the medal, because he did quite a long, about 3.5 years there. And we've been to Malta quite a lot, to the marches, 50th anniversary and the marches, etc. I've lived all my life in Eastbourne, so I expect I should spend the rest of it here, make the most of what I got. I've enjoyed my life, although it hasn't been very... I've lived a very sheltered life, because we never had holidays or anything like that, so just lived in Eastbourne. I plan now to stay in Eastbourne for the rest of my life, make the most of it.